Okay, I'm gonna start drawing this character, Black Knight ZELGIUS from the Fire Emblem game, streaming live on YouTube, and I'm gonna start sketching this character out right now. So the client asked me to sketch this character, and he gave me a few reference photos. This is the reference that was given to me. Let me show you guys this. Actually, move back a little bit more. Let me turn the light, make it brighter. Okay, and the reference photo was this, as well as this pose here. And this is the name of the character, Black Knight ZELGIUS from the Fire Emblem. And here's one of the reference that I start digging up. And the pose he wanted was something like this. So this was what was sent to me. Okay, so I'm gonna start. So I did some research to create a pose on my own, and this is one of the pose that I found online. So this is like this. And he actually asked me to do a torso commission, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and draw like a whole figure pose. So I'm gonna start kind of sketching out that pose. Let me just make sure I have enough room to fit the whole character in there. So this is going to be roughly the pose. There we go. Here's the pose. Yeah, and then I'm going to draw the whole figure. Again, the client asked me to do the torso. I think it's going to look better if I have the whole pose. So I'm just going to go here and look at the reference that he sent me and then kind of sketch out the body. And then I want to take a look at my reference that I wanted. So very lightly, I'll use a pencil just to sketch out roughly the pose first. Okay, so here's the leg, and then we have the hand right here, the fist holding the sword, and I'm sketching very lightly. And if anyone has questions that you would like to ask me, feel free to ask, and then I'm more than happy to answer your questions. And I'm gonna have the sword maybe kind of I'm gonna move this hand up here a little bit. Okay, take my eraser and just move this hand a little bit further this side, and then the sword here. And we'll look at his reference that he sent me. Okay, so he have the sword. We're gonna make this, give it a little bit of a foreshortening. I need to look at the reference of, see how the sword looks. So the sword looks kind of like this. There we go. Okay. Hey, Ron with Tickling. How's it going? It's good to see you here. Glad you're able to make it to this stream. So I'm gonna start sketching more in detail. So this is my rough sketch based on the figure pose that I chose. So I'm gonna make this box a little bit more 3D-ish. Okay. And here's the shoulder. And then we have his head right over here. And let's see. And then here's his legs. Okay, I'll find out where the knee is. Here's this knee. I'm gonna bend this knee back. Okay, put this foot over here. Okay, so now I have the whole figure here. And I'm gonna start looking at the figure now because I don't really know who this character is. Again, this character is, what's the name of this character? ZELGIUS. This is the name of the character from Fire Emblem. So I have to sketch roughly the pose that I want to do, and then now I'm going to start tightening up the sketch. So when I'm tightening up the sketch, I'm actually sketching on top of my main initial sketch. I'll take my kneaded eraser, that's this eraser, and I'm just going to slightly erase a little bit of the pencils. As long as I see where my initial sketch is, I'm going to start drawing on top of it. Okay, we don't want that much pencil stuff. So right here, I still see a little imprint of my pencils. So what I'm doing is I'm erasing it, and then I'm going to start tightening up the sketch. So when I'm tightening up the sketch, I'm going to put a little bit more detail. So I'm going to look at the reference photo. Hey, Amber, how's it going? I'm going to look at the costume and the modern technology with the eye pads. This is pretty good. So we're going to have his helmet. His helmet's going to be right over here. So I see his helmet as a cylinder. So I'm just going to draw a cylinder first. Okay. And then now the shoulder pads, there's so much going on. I'm going to draw the stuff in the front first. Okay, so his sword, I'm just going to turn this sword around. I'm just going to edit this and just turn it so I can see the angle of the sword. Okay, so this sword, I'm just going to start drawing the tip of the sword. And at this this stage, I'm not going to be very accurate. I'm just tightening up the sketch, and then later on when I start drawing it, that's when it's going to be more in detail. Here's where the hand is going to be. Okay, we're going to have two hands over here, and then here's the hilt of the sword. Okay, and those of you who are watching, feel free to ask. Oh, there's a few questions already. See, hello, Princess Chameleon. Good to see you here. Amber, nice to see you. Hey, Kid ZX and Princess Chameleon. Do you offer one-on-one classes? I don't offer one-on-one classes. I used to have Zoom classes where I would teach like a group class, but it's been a while since I offer one-on-one class. But on the weekends, I do teach art class in person if you live in San Francisco. Hello, Amber. Hello. Hey, Roman. No, it seems like everyone knows anyone. One-on-one class. Yeah, I don't have one-on-one classes. Some of the classes that I teach is a few more students. So I'm going to tighten up the storage for a little bit. And then I'm just going to mark out where everything belongs. Okay, so I'm using the tablet for a reference. But I do have a Patreon page. So if you're looking for art review and critiques, I do have a Patreon. So I'm going to write my Patreon here. It's Patreo, patreon.com/Walden Wong Art. Okay, so that's my Patreon over here. So if you're looking for like art review and critiques and you want me to critique your work, I do offer one-on-one critique and reviews over on Patreon. So check out my Patreon and then see if there's a certain tier that you're interested. So now I do look over your work. So if you've seen some of my videos, what I'll do is I'll critique your work. I'll talk to you back and forth and then help you grow as an artist. Okay, I'm going to add some more details here. Florida, thank you for joining me in Florida. I know Florida right now is like midnight, so for you to stay up to watch my channel, thank you for that. Okay, so we have a sword. Okay, here's a sword, and then now I'm gonna rotate this guy back, revert back to how it was, so I can continue looking at some of the details here. Okay, so there's a sword, and I'm gonna start drawing his hand. I'm gonna look for reference photos to see. I'm just gonna use the reference of this hand just to see how he looks. So when I'm doing commissions, a lot of times I'm looking at a lot of different references, and then sometimes I'll Frankenstein like pieces. When I say Frankenstein, what I mean is I'm looking at different areas or different body parts. Sometimes I'll just take a picture of my own body and then I'll just use that for a reference. Okay, here's the hand. Okay, there we go. And then, hey Kit, how's it going? Good to see you over here. Thank you for joining me, Kit. How's it going? See, yeah. Hey Calvin. And then now I'm gonna start. So there's a hand, and then now I'm gonna go back. See, you see how I'm jumping back and forth from one reference photo to another? Amber saying, "Oh no, I was looking to learn." Let me see. I was looking to learn. I was looking to learn about art. I've been interested in learning to draw due to anime. Yeah. So yeah, if you're interested in Patreon, I would still teach you how to draw one-on-one, where you can send me images. I'll send you homework assignments and things like that. Hey Daniel, how's it going? Good to see you here. Daniel's question is: other than attending cons, how can someone break in as an inker? So when I first started working in comics, I actually went to cons. I also sent in samples of my work, which is sending in snail mail of some of my photocopies of my work, and then I would just send it to them, and then hoping that an editor would respond back. I would actually send like 20 packets out, 20 submission packets, and then sometimes after sending 20 of them out, I would get maybe, say, 2 responses. Now this was back then. This was maybe 20 years ago when I would before the internet was created. So I would send 20 packets of samples. In the sample, it would have photocopies of the pencils, along with photocopies of the inks, as well as a cover letter. And then, in addition to the cover letter, there would be a response page where people can check your artwork is like a box that you can check. Number 1, your art is not good enough. Number 2, your art is okay. We'll keep you on file. Number 3, give me a call back. And then sometimes people would send me back a response. And on the response, I will also include a self-addressed stamp envelope. So with the self-addressed stamp envelope, people could respond back to me. I remember buying stamps a lot, and I would just send those out, and I would not get a response. But persistence is key. Now, this was back then when I used to, before the internet was created. These days, with the internet and how you're able to get in touch with so many creators out there, you can actually contact creators and have them look at your work. You can also contact publishers and they can look at your work. Just like how you're talking to me now on the live feed. You can just talk to them. And a lot of artists these days, they have like a Patreon page where you can reach them. So sending stuff to publishers, you would just send it to maybe the submissions editor. You can email them. You can have a website and to show your work. And you have other social medias that you can show. Hey Kai, how's it going? Good to see you over here. Let's see. Hey Kit, thank you for the that shout out thingy. That's the first time I've seen that. That's pretty cool. Great show. Thanks, Kit. Man, that thing, I've never seen that before. That's pretty cool. Don't know, Hype Kit. Let's see, Calvin. I haven't bought a stamp in years. I know with these days, I don't even think we need to use stamps. Should self-publish a book before submitting a pitch to Image Comics, in your opinion, Brother Wong? That's actually not a bad idea. The Art of Chemist. Hey, how's it going? So, when I first started working comics, I actually did some artwork for a group of comic book creators. Their name is the Blockheads, we call ourselves. And then we were just like a bunch of self-publishing artists. And I remember I would ink like the cover for them. So we would ink this up and we would actually self-publish some of the work. And after self-publishing, we would actually print like maybe 500 of them. After printing 500 of them, 500 of the anthology, we would actually bring it to a comic book convention. And then after bringing it to the comic book convention, we actually give it to publishers. So when publishers and editors got a hold of our anthology that we printed ourselves, they took us a little bit more serious. So they'll see like, oh, this writer or this artist, they've actually done something before. Maybe we should take a more serious look at the work. So from then, we actually got more work from it. So it does help. So we're gonna draw this collar over here. Okay, I'm gonna find out where his eyes are. Here's his eye. I'm gonna have him kind of looking this way. Okay, and then here's the top of his head. Let me see if there's any other questions. See, I haven't bought a stamp in years. See, okay. So I'm going to try to look at the questions and then talk to you guys at the same time. Yeah, I really like answering questions and stuff. Kit was one of my supporters from a very long time ago, before all this live feed that I was doing. I think he lives in Portland, Oregon, and he's a good friend as well. Okay, so we have this one. This guy also has a scarf. Looks like he has a scarf. I'm going to draw his scarf kind of like right over here. Okay, and wow, this guy has so much going on. Okay, so his fingers, there's like claws. Okay, let me see if there's any questions. Okay, let's see. Okay, so far so good. I'm going to start drawing. Look at the detail on his outfit. Okay, let's try to put all of this together from what I see. Okay, here's a good reference photo. And we have this thing on the side over here. So I'm gonna have to draw all that. So we have plates on the side here, and then there's another larger plate here. I've never drawn this character before. This is the first time I'm drawing this character. What is his name? Black Knight ZELGIUS from Fire Emblem game. So I did a little bit of studying and then researched some of the reference photo. So there's a plate here, and I'm going to have this plate kind of like falling off over here. Okay. And then he has knee pads, some sketching knee pads there. There's another knee pad going here. Okay, and then look his boots. Let me see right here. I can't really see the shoes, so I'm flicking around to find here. Here's another shoe. So I'm just gonna go and draw this shoe, these bracelet around the feet over here, and then where's my eraser? Here's the eraser, and then I'm gonna start drawing the tip of the toe, the shoe here. So I'm still tightening up the sketch because I don't want to start drawing everything in detail and then go back in there and start erasing a lot of stuff. I'm sketching in everything just to get everything drawn in the right place first before I start drawing everything in detail. See, did you, Rama can ask, did you ever get a print of that 10-page commission that you did a few years back? That was the FPVC. I never actually got a print. I did work on that 10-page commission, but I just scanned it, but I never got a print of it. I seen other places, like I seen online where they made a color print and then a black and white print, but I never got one. But that's okay. Sometimes I don't really have to have it. It would be nice if I got it, but since I didn't get it, it's still okay. But it would be nice if I got it. Okay, here's the back of the foot. Here's the heel. Okay, and then the toe set, there's 3 sections. So I didn't see that at first over here. Now I'm going to add the 3 sections. And then front of the feet, they're like triangle shaped stuff here. Okay, and then we have another triangle shape here. And then here's another triangle shape here. Let me see if there's another question. Amber wrote, I have a friend who wants to get his art out there. He has a nice following on Twitter, but the commissions aren't coming in. Yeah, so I also have Twitter. Actually, I have all the social medias, and it is really good if you can go in there and post as much stuff as you want. Sometimes, like I'll post on Twitter, I'll post on Instagram, DeviantArt, Facebook. I would just post it, and then I would sometimes post the same stuff. And I also have a website. On the website, it shows all my different social medias that I have. And so that does help. The more you post stuff, the more your stuff will be seen. And then all those hashtags that you guys, that we should put in there, the more hashtags that you put in there, the more people will see stuff. So just posting and having some followers see your stuff is not enough. Because some of the people that follows you, they're not even like real people at all. They're just like spam bots or something. So post as frequently as you can. And then the more you post, the more people see your stuff, the more they'll recognize your work. Okay, so at the top of his head, there's another. Okay, so from the back of this view, there's another dome on here. So knowing that, so I need to draw another dome right in the center here. Okay, so the side of his helmet has these stripes. The client asked me that he wanted to draw these stripes over here. So again, I'm just sketching everything in, placing everything in the right place first. Okay, and then we erase some stuff that we don't need. Okay, here's this round thing. I don't know what that is, but I'm just gonna draw it in there. And this plate is on the outside. So here's the outside part. Okay, and then this plate thing, there's this thing. Okay, there we go. And here's this. Okay, let me see if there's any other questions. Hey, Lickkick, how's it going? Good to see you on here. Thanks for joining me. Kit, I know you're real. You've been a good friend for a while. Lickkick and Kit works almost in the same company, I believe. Okay, so here's a dome thing over here. I'm just gonna place this dome here, and then now I'm gonna start tightening things up a little bit. So right now I'm pretty happy. I need to like hold it up for a little bit to look at it. Yeah. So this pose, I'm just gonna lower the body, make this leg go closer. Let me take a look here. Okay, so now I'm going to start tightening up everything a little bit more. Okay, so it's starting to take form. So when I'm sketching, I do sketch a lot of lines. When I'm sketching a lot of lines, it's helping me build up the image of what I don't see in the paper from my head. So I'm just going to go in there and add a lot of details as I can. So I'm not too familiar with this character, so I'm just gonna look at each piece and I'm just gonna section everything in one at a time. So we have this part that goes around here. Okay, and then now on this image, I don't really see his arm, but I see that there's a little elbow pad. So I'm gonna place that elbow pad right over here. Yeah, I rather draw like Marvel characters or DC characters, you know, because I've been working on those characters for a long time, and I'm familiar with them. So with a character that I don't know, or sometimes I'll do covers or something for independent publishers, I do need to study those characters a little bit just so I can familiarize myself with them. So here I see the straps over here. So knowing that the straps, I need to place those straps right over here. Okay, and then we have, I'm gonna make this go closer and then place the straps right around here. Okay, and then on his biceps, it seems like there's two straps. Yeah, there's two straps, so I'm just gonna place that. I'm gonna form the arm first, and here's a strap here. We're just gonna place one strap, the other strap's over here, and then here, we'll place two straps. Okay, make this come out a little bit. Okay, there's that. Okay, so here's some of the body. So I'm gonna draw that shape. And then here's the loop over here. Okay, and then here I see these things on the side of his torso. So I'm just gonna place those things over here first. Okay, and then front of the stomach. Okay, now I'm gonna go back down and look at the rest of his legs. Okay, so right in the middle, looks like there's this thing, this robe. This one doesn't. This one actually, this is the back. So there is this thing in the front. Okay, so I'm gonna draw that thing in the front. Okay, I'm gonna place that right over here. Okay, looks like this metallic thing. Let me see if there's any other questions. See, Lake Girl, is this piece going to be black and white or color? I don't like. Kid Nui. This piece this live stream that I'm doing today is going to be in black and white. So I'm going to pencil it first. After penciling, I'm going to ink it. And then tomorrow, I'm actually going to be coloring it. So tomorrow, we'll be doing a live stream as well, coloring this piece. Okay, so we have some of the straps here. Okay, we have, let me look at the body of his legs. Okay, so we have another detail stripe here, and then another detail stripe here. And then same with this side, this one goes here. So for those of you who just joined, this character's name is ZELGIUS from Fire Emblem game series. Okay, I'm gonna take a look in here. And then there's this fabric that goes around. So I'm gonna have this fabric for composition. I'm gonna have some of the fabric go over this way, just to have everything done like kind of roll this way. So we're gonna have some of the fabric kind of go here and then have this loop back. Okay, even though I've drawn some of the stuff there, we're just gonna let it go. Okay, and then here's, let me take a look at some of the fabric here. Fabric, we'll see he has a cape, so there's like fabric underneath there. So I'm gonna have that fabric go kind of this way. And then here, and then on the other side, I'm gonna have the fabric kind of whip over. And then he has this huge cape behind him. Okay, I'm gonna have that cape drape over, coming here. Yeah, I'm gonna have it go a little bit higher. There we go. We'll have that drape right there. Okay, and then some of the inside of the cape. And then on this side, we'll have just a little bit drape over. Okay, let me take a look here. Okay, so now I have the gist of everything. Let me see if there's any questions. You see, Lake Road. I just read Aaron Leperstri's Wrath of God. Really good book, and one of the covers is by Dale Keown's, a Dale Keown werewolf. Thank you for mentioning Aaron Leperstri, as well as Dale Keown. So both those artists I worked with before. Aaron Leperstri I actually worked with over on Generation X from Marvel, and Dale Keown I actually worked with on a Marvel book on the Hulk. Yeah, it was a pleasure to work with both of those artists. So here I really like both of those artists' work. So here I'm gonna go in here and place those stripes in here, putting more details in here, and then some of the little stripes here. Okay, so now I have roughly where I want everything to be. Okay, this one goes here like that. Now I'm going to take my kneading eraser again, which is this. Oh, Aaron speaks highly of you. I only got a chance to speak with Aaron. I worked with Aaron one time, and I saw him in person one time at a convention. He's a really good artist. He reminds me of his art reminds me of Terry Dodson's work. Okay, I'm going to erase this part so I can see it lightly, and then now I'm going to switch to a sharper pencil, and then I'm going to draw. I'm actually going to draw on top of this. So just like inking blue line, I'm actually drawing on top of my pencil. So for those of you who want my Patreon page, I'm also going to write it here so you can see it. Patreo, patreon.com/WALDEN, Walden Wong. Let me do that again. Ran out of space. Okay, let me erase that. And I know I'm drawing and writing a lot of stuff on this commission, but at the end I'm just gonna erase it all anyway. patreon.com/WALDENWONGART. On my social media is Walden Wong Art. Let me see if there's any questions so far. Aaron speaks highly of you. Thank you. Okay, so now next to me, I'm just going to show you guys a little bit of what I do. So I have a cup. This is a cup that I got, and I just put a lot of pencils that's already sharpened. So I don't have to spend time going back and forth just to go sharpen pencils. See, the art of DHT wrote, do you stream on Twitch? I have a Twitch account, which is also under the name Walden Wong Art, but I have yet to stream. I have to figure out how to get that set up to stream over on Twitch. So right now I'm just streaming here on YouTube. I want to get to a point where I can stream on both YouTube and Twitch and all of that. Okay, so I'm gonna start drawing everything in detail. I'm gonna zoom in so I can see this character's helmet a little bit better. Okay, we want this helmet here. So I'm gonna erase this just a little bit. Okay, erase some of the pencil. With the needle eraser, I just like rolling over here. Okay, so now we're gonna start drawing. After all that, any late Kikos, any comics that you are working on? Yes, I just finished working on a Nova piece, and also a here. Let me grab it and show you a little bit of it. Some of the stuff that I finished working on. So I'm not gonna post the art that much. So one of the ones that I worked on is Edge of Spider-Verse. That's this one over here. Okay, you'll see a little bit here. And then another project that I finished working on is called Marvel Voices Communicades. Okay, and then next I'm going to be working on a Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 42. And I'm also going to be working on so that's all for Marvel Comics. And then over on DC Comics, I'm going to be working on a milestone. You know, those milestone characters. I forgot the name of the title because I just was asked to work on that yesterday. So I'm doing stuff for Marvel and DC. So I'm gonna start drawing the helmet. And so I'm drawing a little bit darker. So since I know that I'm gonna be inking this anyway, I'm gonna start drawing it, and then I don't have to be very 100% precise. I'll be more precise when I come back and then when I ink in everything. Okay, so you notice that when I'm drawing, it's a little bit more slower because I want my lines to be as precise as I can before I go back in there to start inking. When I start to ink, everything that I do during the inking stage is going to be very, very precise. I want my lines to be as accurate as much as I can. Okay, so I'm going to get this eraser out of the way. Erase this. Okay, I'm going to zoom in closer so you guys can see a little bit more of what I'm drawing. You don't really need to see the reference that much. I'll center this here. So let me move the lights over. So we're going to have this helmet go here. Going to have this side. I'm going to have extend this a little bit more. So as I'm drawing this, and especially since I don't really know the characters, I'm still looking at the reference, but I'm going to go in here and draw everything based on how I see the character. Let me see if there's any other questions. Nice, you got a bunch of work. Yeah, been very busy working in comics, working in manga, and a lot of all that fun stuff. I'm very lucky to be able to do this. So I'll do commissions and any Marvel work during nighttime because that's my favorite time to do artwork when I'm doing the publishing stuff. So here's this, and then we're gonna have this plate going on this way. So I try not to sketch, and then I'm gonna move the shoulder pad. The shoulder pad thing is a little bit higher. I'm gonna move that a little bit higher. I'm gonna move it up to here. Yeah, it looks like it's really high up. Let me look at the reference photo again. Yeah, his shoulder pad is almost to his eye level. Like this collar thing is almost to the eye level. So even though I sketched it, I'm just gonna move it higher, which is funny. This character, like this thing is so high. What if someone's coming up to the side and if he turn his head, he's not gonna be able to see him, see like the people that's next to him. Gonna ink this part higher. Okay, too sketchy. I don't want stuff to be too sketchy. I want it to be as accurate as I can. Okay, we're gonna have this thing maybe up to here. Okay, up to here. And then now I'm gonna have it travel downwards. There we go. That looks better. And then we're gonna have this. Gonna have this go around. This one loops here. And then the side. And we're gonna have this go in here and here. And then on this side, same thing. We're gonna have this one go here. Okay, and then have this travel around his head. There's a strap. Okay, and then we're gonna have this one come in this way. There we go. Okay. Sheesh. Let's see. Roll meticulous. Do Marvel and DC pay all the inkers the same page rate? Marvel, for myself, I have a different page rate compared to what Marvel and DC gives me a different page rate. In fact, every publisher that you work with, they establish a page rate for you. You can go in there and kind of negotiate your page rate with them, but very rarely does everyone have the same page rate through for different publishers. So it depends on which publisher you work with. Sometimes an independent publisher will even pay you more than your Marvel and DC, or sometimes Marvel and DC will pay you more. It really depends on how you negotiate as an artist. Okay, and then I'm gonna make this thing a little bit smaller. Let me see if there's any other questions. I met Aaron and Simon Beasley last month. Both really good guys and fun to talk to. I also got to talk to Ron Lim. Yeah, Simon Beasley is a fun guy. He's actually like a nice, calm person. I met him in person. I never got to work with him, but I have worked with Ron Lim before. Ron Lim is like this guy that draws for Marvel. Oh, he does a collar on the inside. So I'm gonna draw that collar thing that I didn't see earlier. So here's the head. We'll draw this round collar thing that's on the inside. So being an artist, not only are you able to see things while you're drawing it, you also get to see details. Like, for example, if you're watching a movie with your friends, you also see like a lot of details that sometimes your friends don't see. Okay, and then here's a robe. Here's a robe, and there's a fabric around here. Okay, so now we have the fabric right here. And then I'm going to have this fabric thing go a little bit higher because I think it's just going to look a little bit better. So wrap around here. There we go. Okay. And let me see if I can see what's going on in the face. Nothing really going on. It's just a dark. Yeah, dark. I mean, that's the character's face. So I'm going to make this helmet, give this a thickness over here. So it looks like a metal plate that's thicker. Just double up on that. Okay, and then everything else is going to be black. Okay, I'm going to draw the details of this part here. And the tip, I'm just going to draw this in more detail. There's a line that goes around here, like that. Let me see the top of his head. Let me see the back of his head. See how the back of his head looks. Okay, so it looks like there's some kind of detail on this round part. Okay, here's the back. Let me see if there's any other questions. Any tips? Suro the Sloth wrote, any tips when going into the industry? I'm about to graduate high school. Yeah, the biggest tip I can give you is to draw every day. If you want to be a penciler, if you want to ink, ink every day. If you want to color, color every day. Because the more you practice doing something, the better you get at it. I've been doing this comic book thing for a very long time. It's 1996. 1996 is, I still have a photocopy of my first paycheck, which was 1996. So 96, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's 26 years. So I've been doing comics for 26 years. And even though, like, I've been doing it for so long, I still feel like I'm still learning. There's always something new to learn as you're working. The more you practice and the more you study, the better you get. Like, working in comics for so long, I've seen artists come and go. And some artist techniques that I've seen, I would just go in there and study it. And then once I see how they draw, I would try to mimic that. Say, so these straps are just black. I'm just gonna draw them as little. They look kind of like little arrows, so I'm just gonna fill them in like little arrows. Okay, fill them in like this, and then I'm gonna come back later to fill that out. So here's the eye piece. I'm just gonna fill that in, and I'm just using a regular pencil. If I'm doing portraits or like caricatures or whatever, I would use different pencil. I'm just using a regular pencil, and then later on I'm just going to be erasing it. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to move on over to the knife, the sword. I mean, so the sword is a big sword. I'm going to rotate this guy around again. Okay, I'm going to rotate this, flip, flip, flip. Okay, and then done, so I can see the sword. Now I'm just gonna turn this sword, not turn the sword, turn my sketchbook this way. Let me see if there's any other questions. Thanks a lot, you're welcome. Lake Kate wrote, a good drawing reference is Dave Finch YouTube channel. Yes, Dave is a very, very good artist. Yeah, he draws really well, really fast, faster than me. One time, Dave was doing a live feed, and then I just went in there and I said, "Hello, Dave. How are you?" And then Meredith said to Dave that I was there, and he got excited. And then all this time, I'm thinking, does Dave know who I am? Like, that was kind of impressive that he knew who I was. I have inked Dave before on the cover of Vampy Omnibus. They use that for like a cover, and also they use it for a omnibus cover, and also inked some of his work when he did some stuff for Justice League, Witchblade crossover. He did some ghosting work, and then I was able to ink some of his Superman over there. So that was fun to be able to ink his stuff. He didn't get credit. I actually inked his stuff. The penciler who I worked with was working over on Top Cow, and Dave Finch was there, and the pencil was falling behind. Mark Parrillo. Again, this book was for, I'll write it down here. It was for JLA slash WITCHBLADE. JLA Witchblade crossover was with the top DC Comics crossover with Top Cow, and that's the first time I actually inked Dave's work that was uncredited. Okay, I'm going to start drawing in some of the details of the hilt. So much detail on this sword. Okay, I'm going to go here. And then as a artist who's doing commissions, you can add in more details and then change up some of the stuff and give some of your own flair into it. Here's a sword. I'm going to make this part, okay, this part kind of goes out and it comes in here, and then there we go. Okay, and then in the center there's this round triangle shape, and then we have this shape. Okay, and then we have all this stuff going on. Okay, here's the center. So I'm going to draw in everything and then try to get everything in the right place first. Okay, you see, okay, front of the sword, I'm going to round this off a little bit. Let me see if there's any other questions. Is there anything you hate to draw? That's a good question. Is there anything, I can tell you why I don't like to ink. The one thing I don't like to ink when I'm working in comics is when it's nighttime and there's stars in space. And then not only is there stars, it's raining out there. So I have to draw like rainy lines on top of the artwork. So what I'm doing is I'm inking stuff, and then I'm making stars in the sky, and then at the same time I'm adding streaks of white line over that. So that just takes a little bit more time. But there's really nothing that I don't like to draw, because I just like to draw in general. Because to me, drawing is drawing. It doesn't regardless of what I'm drawing, because the fun part is just the drawing. So I'm actually really happy with anything that I draw. So here's a sword. The sword is kind of crooked. I need to like straighten it out a little bit. So all I do is just adjust some of these guys. Okay, I'm gonna move this over a little bit more. Just center this. Move this hilt over. There we go. So now it's more centered. Okay. Let me see if there's any more questions. Okay, so far so good. Now I'm gonna go back to my reference. Flip this back upside down, rotate it back, revert back to the original. And then I'm going to reference one of the other hands. Okay, so here's one hand. I'm going to reference how this guy's hand looks. So with the hands, I see each part of this as a cylinder. There's 1 cylinder, 2 cylinder, 3 cylinder. So we're just going to place those cylinders here. Okay, you see how I'm just sketching that as a cylinder? Okay, so I'm going here and sketching one section at a time. And then on the knuckle, I'll draw that as a circle. And then here's this part of the cylinder. Okay, I'll place all those cylinders there. Okay, I don't place them one after another. I overlap them. And then the thumb, here's the thumb. This part is this round joint here. And then I'll draw this thumb here. Now for the other side of the hand, okay, this thing is so pixelated that I can't see. So this is where being an artist kind of helps your drawing a little bit. So even though you can't see the reference photo, like right here, the reference photo is like kind of blurry. I do rely on some of my drawing skills that I've learned in the past, and then I kind of make up. So I just use reference just to see what the angle is. And here I'm just going to place this hand. I'm going to have the whole knuckle here and the fingers down here. We're going to tilt that. Here's the top knuckles, and then here's the palm of the hand. We're going to have the palm of the hand here, and then we're going to have the thumb here. So I'm going to separate. Here's one knuckle. I'm just going to move this knuckle a little bit higher so it's in a different angle. And then now I'm going to place the cylinders. Cylinders over here, partial cylinder. So I'm going to place all these cylinders right over here. And then now I'm going to place the bottom cylinder, and then the knuckles here, bottom cylinder. Okay, just place one at a time, and then the other thumb. Okay, and we're gonna place the back of the hand, which is that part, like right over here. Okay, I'll move this closer, and then I'm gonna place the other thumb a little bit like this. Okay, so we have the hand, and then now we're gonna draw the rest of the shield of this part of the hand over here. So I need to look at reference to see how that looks. Okay, so we have this round part over here, and then we have this plate. This plate goes straight, and then this curves inwards, and then we have this plate goes here, and then we have this one that goes around the side. Okay, and then it looks like there's some outside detail. I'm going to draw that here. Okay, and then the straps. So we have the arm here. I'm just going to draw the straps going around here, like this. And then on the other side, I'm just going to give this a little bit. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit more rounded. The rounder I make it, the more foreshortening this arm will look. So I'm going to make this a little bit more rounded, like this. Okay, let's see if there's any other questions. Is there any? Are you going to San Diego Comic-Con or any conventions this year? This year, I don't have any conventions coming up unless someone asks me. I did get a badge for San Diego Comic-Con, but that badge was actually a badge that I registered 3 years ago, 2019. Yeah, and then they sent it to me, so I wasn't planning on going this year, so the badge was wasted. But no San Diego Comic-Con for me this year, maybe in the future. Okay, we have his pads over here. Here's his pads. I need to see how the side of the pad looks. So I'm just going to flip around, look at different reference photo. Okay, so here's how that pad looks. I'm going to sketch that pad right over here. I'm going to give it a little bit of a spike and a dent here. And then have this one kind of go out like this. Okay, and it looks like there's a disc here. So I'm going to sketch that disc over here. So I'm going to tighten that up a little bit more. And then the rest of the arm, I need to look at another part of the reference photo. Let me see if I can, oh yeah, this one here. Okay, that one, we're going to look at maybe this one. Okay, so here's another plate. I'm going to place that plate right here. Okay, that plate goes here, right over there. Okay, and then here's the other arm. I'm going to sketch that little part of this arm here, and then we have his biceps here, and then we have another strap right over here. Okay, 2 lines just to make it more 3D over here. Let me see if there's any other questions. I look forward to your convention videos, Walden. They are a lot of fun. Yeah, I like doing the convention videos. So some of you who haven't watched some of my YouTube videos, I do convention videos where I'll walk around and then I'll talk to other creators and convention people, and then just kind of introduce everyone. So if you are not able to go to conventions, actually make those videos so you can, it'll almost feel like you're at a convention. And thank you for watching those videos, Late Cake. I enjoy making them. It's actually, I actually make those videos before I actually start going, you know, through the rounds of doing a convention thing, and then I just talk to people. It's the only time I actually get to talk to some of the creators and publishers and booths that's at the show, and it's pretty fun doing those videos. Okay, so here's the shoulder piece. Okay, and then right here, and then the bottom part, I'm going to draw this plate here, and then we have this shield here. There we go. Okay, that's that part. Let me see if there's any other question. Yeah, all of you guys, feel free to answer questions. Hey, Emilio, how's it going? What's up, Wong? Remember me? Of course I remember you. Hey, Max, how's it going? Good to see you here, Max. Hey, Max, are you Max who's painting one of the skulls? One of the bird skulls that, you know what I'm talking about. I wonder if it's this Max or another Max. I know so many Maxes. Okay, I'm going to draw this plate over here. And then we're going to have this. Okay, so I'm going to draw the other plate. So we have this plate that protrudes in here. So I'm going to sketch that part here. And then on this side, we're going to have this one here. So those of you who are joining me now, this is a commission that someone commissioned me to work on. They're asking me to draw this character, which I've never seen this character before. So it's my first time drawing this as I'm doing a live feed on YouTube here. And this is kind of fun mainly because I don't know who this character. Hey, SDA. Oh, Max, how's it going? Okay, for those of you, I don't know if Max has a YouTube channel, but if she does have a YouTube channel, I highly recommend you guys follow her. She's one of my students that comes to my weekend classes, and she's very, very talented. She's she's very young to be very that talented. So hopefully Max has like a YouTube channel, or follow Max on social media. I think probably she has some of her Instagram, but she's kind of like ninja style where she doesn't really make it public. So Max is a really, really amazing artist. She's came to my art class for less than a year, and then she's actually improved so much. Like, she's really an amazing artist. If she keeps up with all the art that she's been doing, I really believe that she can have a really good career in art. Because honestly, I'm no one special. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Let me see. Is there any other questions? Still want to send you some of my art. Emilio, you want to see? You want to send me? Hey, SDA, how's it going? Thank you for joining me here. Hey, Emilio, you want to send me some art? You want to send me some art so I can frame it and hang it in my house? Is that why you want to send me some of your art? Okay, I'm going to draw this arm right here. I'm going to draw that plate, this round part. So again, those of you who are joining me, I'm just looking at the reference on like all the stuff that I see here, and I'm just moving this image around, and I'm just gonna draw all the detail here. So this plate here, I'm gonna have to draw that plate right over here, make it look similar. So there's this round part here, and this part goes around. I'm gonna have this kind of go underneath here. Okay, and then we have this forearm. Forearm's gonna be here, and then we're gonna have this part. Have this plate go around here. I'm actually going to turn this a little bit because right now it's not turning to the right place. Okay, sometimes you just have to draw it to see how it looks like. So I'm going to have this part go up here, and then now this part goes around here. Okay, this looks a little bit better. A little bit too big. I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller because I need room for his elbow pads. So this one is going to go down this way. And then now I'm on the forearm. I'm going to sketch out the shape of the forearm first. And then now after sketching the shape, I'm going to draw the strap right over here. Here's one strap. You double up that line. And then here's another strap. Okay, I think I saw another question. Let's see. Walden, Licky asks, Walden, did you ever work with Dan Lewis? I've never worked with Dan Lewis. I don't think I know who Dan Lewis is. I'm not familiar with his work. I worked with Louis LaRosa before. Have I worked with Louis LaRosa? I can't remember. Yeah, I think I did. We're actually good friends. Okay, here's the elbow pad. So I'm going to draw this part of the elbow pad. This part goes, there's a rectangle shape that goes around here. This part it goes around here. And we have this shoulder piece, the elbow piece right here. So we draw that strap. Okay, I'm going to draw this circle here. And then there's a strap that goes around the arm, like right over here. So I'm just going to draw that strap right here. Okay, and then now there's another strap. Looking at the reference, there's another strap here. Hey, CH, how's it going? Hey, Walden, I'm happy to catch you working. Are you inking this commission in your mind as you sketch? So, yeah, so this commission, someone contacted me and asked me to draw this. They actually contacted me and said, Walden, can you draw this character? So I'll show you. So they sent me this reference. They wanted this character and something in this pose. The pose they wanted was something like this. So I studied this character for a little bit and asked what's the name of the character. This character's name is Black Knight of ZELGIUS. So I Googled that up and then I found some reference image that they didn't send me. So this image, and then the pose. This pose is okay, but it didn't have the rest of the body. So I went in there to find some other characters that had similar poses. So here's one, here's two, here's three. This is Inuyasha. So I took Inuyasha's pose and then I sketched this originally like right over here. After I sketched it, I went in there and kind of took this shape, a little bit of this one, and a little bit of this one. And then I took some of the feet and then just to get that pose, and then I started sketching it. So in a way, I'm taking everything, and then in my mind, I see it in my mind, but sometimes looking at a reference photo will just help you sketch everything out a little bit better. So just to get it done quicker. Or you can just take a picture of yourself doing that pose and go in there and draw everything in detail. So we're going to continue and drawing that arm. So let me see. You see how I'm flipping through different images so I can see everything? So I'm going to continue looking at maybe this arm. So we have the shoulder pad. We also have another pad like right over here. So I'm just going to draw that pad right here. Okay, I'm going to zoom in closer so you guys can see a little bit better. So you can see what you guys doing. Let's see. Dan worked okay. SDA, Dan Lewis. Dan worked for Marvel in the 80s and on other things. Good guy. Yeah, I never worked with Dan. Hey, Redzilla. Good evening, Mr. Wong. How are you tonight? I'm doing well. Thank you for joining me on... thank you for joining me on this feed. Max wrote, Walden, how much are they buying the commission for? Walden. Okay, so this commission, someone contacted me, and then I have different prices for different commission based on if you want a headshot or if you want a torso shot or if you want a full body. This person actually asked me to do a torso shot, but then I decided I'm just gonna draw like the rest of the body because I think it looks better with the rest of the body. And the commission, I have different prices for the commission. So he wants me to pencil it, ink it, and then after I'm done inking it, I will go in there and I will color it. And I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow to color because penciling it and inking is going to take a while. Because right now, just penciling this much is taking me an hour already. And let's see, and then the commission wise for this is a good like a Benjamin Franklin right over here. Okay, looking good. Okay, leg kick roll. Did you get Wrath of God? Also, Andy Smith has a yes, that's right. Andy Smith has a new Kickstarter. Are you working on any current comics at the moment? Yes, I'm gonna be. I actually worked on a few, like I mentioned a little bit earlier from Marvel. I finished working on a Nova piece, and then I also finished working on a what is it? What is it? Let me show you guys again. Here is something that I just finished working on. I'm not going to show you guys. So Marvel Voices Communicates issue 1. And this one, I just finished working on is Edge of Spider-Verse anthology. Okay, these are the ones that I just finished working on. And I'm going to be working on a Wakanda book. Shuri, which is Black Panther's sister. I'm going to be working on that. I'm also going to be working on Milestone for DC Comics, like a few pages there, and I'm also going to be working on a what is it? Miles Morales Spider-Man issue 42, the double page. I mean, the double size issue for Marvel because 42 is like a special number. Cool. Okay, now I'm going to continue drawing the rest of the plate. So here's a plate. Double up this line, and then here's the strap around this arm, and we'll draw this part here. Here. Okay, now that I have the top part of the body, I'm going to start drawing some of the inside details. So I'm looking at this reference photo, and I'm just going to start drawing all of that there. I'm just going to angle it in the correct direction. So we have this round plate. We have this one that goes here, and then the round plate here. And then for every line that I draw, I just double up that line. Okay, and then we have this here, and then we have a loop over here. This one goes around, and then on that side. Okay, and then now we have the strap that's on the side of the body. I'm just going to draw one line. Starts from here. Just draw one line here, and then double up that line. Very easy. Okay, and then we have this side. We'll draw the side of his chest, his waist, his sides, and then we'll draw one line. Just double up that line. Very easy. Okay, and then on this side, there's a strap right here. I'm just gonna place that strap right over here, and then same for this side. Just gonna place that strap right over here. Okay, so watch, and then in the center, there's a little triangle thing. I'll just place that triangle thing right here. Let's see. Emilio writes, I'll try and get your work and post it on low grade. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm a certified CGC person. So I have some people who sends me the book. I'll sign it and I'll submit it for CGC. So they'll get like a yellow label. So I also do that for those of you who are interested in doing CGCs. Redzilla wrote, have you worked on any of the current Venom Lethal Protector books? Not any of the current ones. I have worked on Venom Lethal Protector in the past. Also Venom vs. Deadpool. I've worked on that for Marvel. The covers by Sakura, and I always associate inks with his art because you guys did Venom. Yes, yeah, I worked with Paulo Sakura, one of the most detailed artists that I've worked with. Very, very detailed work. Okay, so now that I have the top of the body, I'm also going to start drawing some of the sides. So we have this leg here. I'm just going to draw that strap thing. Okay, so we have this part goes here, and then we have this one that overlaps. This one goes here, and then I'm just going to draw that strap. So there is this fabric-y thing, this fabric stuff thing here. Okay, we have this section. We draw this section, and then this hooks out. You know, make this a little bit rounded so it looks kind of cool. Okay, we have this strap here. Okay, we have these triangles. It looks like arrows. Okay, we have this strap here, and then here's a triangle. Okay, and then now I'm just going to double line this. Okay, same with this side. I'm just going to draw this line, and then this one kind of goes in this way. Okay, and then on the other side, I'm going to get those out of the way. Let me see if there's any questions. See, Lake Hickory, Dale Neon and a friend of mine, Phil Diaz, are working on a new Pit comic. Yeah, I'm interested and excited for the Pit comic. I always liked his work on the Pit. See, another question. CH wrote, Nova, Spider-Verse, Wakanda, Shuri, and Morales commissions, and one-shots. You're a beast. Do you collect comics as a hobby? What works do you covet? I read a lot of comics. I read a lot of comics. I also read a lot of manga. I like manga a lot. I also like comics, so I read comics on both sides, Japanese manga as well as American comics, all publishers. I just like the artwork. Yeah, I remember when, Redzilla, Walden, how did you get into the industry, Walden? Where'd you start? Okay, so I got into comic book industry because when I was a kid in middle school, I would just like to buy comics and I would read comics. It wasn't until I went to a comic book store that an artist was actually drawing comic books there. And I asked him, what is he doing? He said, I draw comic books for Marvel Comics. And then I thought, you draw comic books for Marvel Comics? What are you talking about? I thought, machines make comic books. I didn't know people actually draw. And you mean you get paid to draw comics? Yeah, you get paid to draw comics. And this comic book store was in San Francisco, and the comic book store was called Oglio's. Ogleo, Oglios. It was located on Polk Street in San Francisco near Pine. And I would just go there after school, and I would just buy comics. And this guy that was drawing comic books, his name was Arthur Adams. So he would just work the counter, and then he would help me ring me up. And then he was kind of like part owner with him and his girlfriend at the time. They would just go, sell comic books, and Arthur would just be back there in his room drawing his comic books and helping out when Grace wasn't there. Grace was like the owner. Well, I guess they both own it. Arthur funded it and Grace worked it. And I spoke to Arthur. Arthur said, "Why don't you get into inking?" He gave me some photocopies of his pencil samples, and then I would just do some inking. Because at first I actually wanted to get into penciling. I didn't know what an inker was. What's inking? Like, art is art, just draw. And he goes, "Why don't you get into inking? You can practice over some of my pencils." So I said, "Sure, whatever. Like anyone who's giving me advice on what to do, I'll try." So I practiced inking over his pencils, and then after a while, that's why if you look at one of my older videos of some samples, you see that I inked like a lot of Arthur Adams samples. Let me move this one here. When he was doing some pieces for Toy Biz and Generation X X-Men covers and things like that, and I would just ink over it and practice. And then after I would be done practicing, working on his stuff, I would just bring it back to him at this store, and he would just go in there and show me, "Well, Walden, this is what I would do differently. This is how I would approach working on this part over here." Okay, and then he helped me along the way and gave me a lot of good critiques, and then that's how I went from there. And then I also met like another artist from Rob Liefeld's studio when they had the Extreme Studio tour. So meeting him and also Marlo Uquiza, he gave me his business card, and I talked to him, and he was an inker for Extreme Studios. So I spoke to him, and then he also helped me along the way. He would send me samples of some of the Extreme Studios tour stuff. So like, I remember practicing inking over Stephen Platt, who's one of the artists that worked on Moon Knight right before he went over to Image Studios. So I was lucky to be able to ink some of that. So here I'm gonna add some of the fabric straps over here. Okay, so just double lining here, and then we have some more strap lines over here. Okay, it's coming from down there. I'm gonna make this loop a little bit because I don't really want tangents going on. There we go. And then we have this strap here, double line. Let me see if there's any other questions. Let's see. Yeah. Let me see. Which manga? Okay. Excited to see the finished piece. I still need to watch that episode. Where did you start? Okay, let's see. What manga do you enjoy, Walden? Do you watch anime? I do watch anime right now, and then manga. Right now, there's this new book called Spy X Family. That one's supposed to be a good book. I haven't read it yet. I want to read it. So hopefully that I'll get to read it soon. Spy X Family. There's a lot of manga out there. Like, for example, Chainsaw Man is a pretty good book. If you read Chainsaw Man. There's a lot of... And Dragon Ball Super. That's like another book that I'm very excited about. That's out right now. Vagabond is a good book. Akira is a good book. There's a lot of good mangas out lately. I like looking at manga because everything is so like in black and white. You can see all the detail that's in there. I'm going to draw the strap maybe flowing this way. Okay, there we go. And then kind of overlap here. Okay, this one looks kind of wonky. I need to draw this where it looks natural to me. So this fabric, I'm going to have the kind of go here, whip out. Okay, how does that? Nope, I don't like the way that looks. Okay, I can't believe I'm having trouble with this one fabric over here. Let's try it again. I'm going to have this one go here. Okay, that feels right. That feels a little bit better. I'm gonna have this one wrap around here. Okay, so this one goes over on that strap. Does a tangent. I don't like tangents. Gonna have this strap go around here, and then this one go back here. There we go. And then double up the line. There's this on this side, and then this one. I'm gonna add a little loop there, so it looks like it's folding, so it doesn't look boring. There we go. That doesn't look natural. Let me see if there's any other questions. Let's see. Lucky dog. Yeah, meeting Arthur Adams and having him help me out. That's really lucky. He's one of my mentors. Quite the catch. Yes. Lucky dog. Yes. Finish. Arthur's still a good friend. I haven't seen him in a while. I want to see him. Arthur and his wife, Joyce Chen, they're good friends. Where can we send our art to you again? Yeah, contact me on social media. Are you talking about an actual piece of artwork, or you're talking about a like a scan of artwork? I love Superior Spider-Man, Akira. I love me some Dragon Ball. I posted books on my eBay, but never read Superior, so I didn't post the words for reals, man. Akira is my favorite. Yeah, Akira's my first exposure to. Yeah, let me go here. Exposure to anime art. That looks weird. That looks weird. I'm just gonna move this back a little bit. I don't have any problems drawing the body. I have a problem drawing this. Okay, I'm gonna have this one go. Yeah, I think like this. I'm gonna just have this fold over. Okay, so this one's gonna have it fold over this way, and then this one. Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, that looks okay. See, even artists that's been drawing for so many years, they still go in here and kind of don't like what they're drawing and then go back and fiddle with it. Okay, that looks better. Okay, now I'm gonna go draw his knee pads. That's right underneath this knee. So I'm gonna flip around, look for a reference photo. Okay, so here's the whole knee that we sketched out earlier. Let me see if there's any question. So I do both anime and trades. Me too. I do trades, comic book, anime. I like them both equally. Yeah, I just like art, regardless if it's anime or manga or it's trades or comics. Trades are actually like more economical these days when you're buying comic books, because regular floppy comic books, they're almost like $4 each. Buying a trade, they're like $11. Actually, I prefer hardcovers over trades because I feel like hardcovers kind of last longer. They're stronger, and it feels more like bookshelf kind of stuff. If I can't find the hardcover, or if they don't make the hardcover, then I'll go ahead and buy the trades. Okay, give that an angle. Okay, give this knee an angle, and then draw some of the details of this part. And then we have this leg. Okay, this leg, I'm gonna look at some of the other reference to see how that looks. Okay, we have this leg. I'm gonna make this go a little bit wider right here. Okay, that looks a little better. And then here's this leg. And right now this leg, all it has is just a strap. Oh, there's this strap on the inside. So I'm just gonna draw that strap here. And then we have this inner fabric right here, and then now I'm going to draw that strap. I want this drawing to be as accurate as best as I can draw it. Okay, and then here's this thigh. Let me see if there's any other questions. Let's see. Red Zillion wrote, have you ever worked on Image Comics stuff like Invincible, Spawn, etc.? Yes, I worked on Image Comics. Some of the Image Comics I worked on was for Top Cow. Top Cow worked on 9 Volt, Tomb Raider, Darkness, Witchblade. So I worked on those. Like some of the 1/2 issues of Witchblade and Tomb Raider, I worked on those for Image Comics. I also worked on Spawn, Spawn Godslayer. So that was pretty fun. I was inking over Philip Tan at the time for Spawn Godslayer. I also worked on some other Image titles, The Bod, and there's a few more I can't remember. I've been doing so much comics, it's hard to remember. all the stuff. But I have worked for Image, Marvel Comics, DC Comics. I also worked for Dark Horse Comics. When Dark Horse had me working on stuff. I remember when I first started working comics, I was working for Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and Dark Horse Comics at the same time. I was working on Predator, Titan AEs, and some of their own creator work, DC Comics work. So I have done those in the past. Okay, and here is, let me look for the boot where I can see, where can I look for a boot? Okay, was this the one? Let me find one that's a little bit clearer so I can see the details of the boot. Okay, see, I'm flipping. Yeah, I like this one. This one I can see a little bit better. So we have this part. Okay, let me get rid of that part. I don't know what that is. So we have this part, and then we have this triangle part here. We have this part that goes around. Okay, and then this part that goes here. Okay, make sure I see what's going on. Okay, let me see if there's any other questions. Spawn, Godslayer, Spawn, yes. IDW Artisan editions are good. Yes, I also like Artisan editions. Have you ever worked on MLK? Remember Top Cow? Yes, Top Cow from Mark Silvestri. I met Mark Silvestri before. He's a nice guy. I posted 7 comic books and took those issues out. Promised to read in a week. Artisan editions are great. Like these artisan editions, they're basically like looking at like at just comic book. Oh, I shouldn't be showing you guys these. That's not published yet. Artisan editions such as there's trade paperbacks and there's also hardcover. So for example, this is something that I just got recently. Jack Kirby Fantastic Four Artisan Edition. So in this Artisan Edition, you can actually look in it and see how the artist did the work. Like you can kind of see some of the whiteout stuff that's over here. This is one of them over Jack Kirby. I also got another Artisan Edition for... Also got one of these recently, trade paperback, Daredevil Born Again Artisan Edition. This is pretty good. I also got a bunch of hardcover ones. The only reason I buy this trade is because I can't find the hardcovers anymore. Let me see. I'll try to answer everyone's question as best as I can. Red Zilla wrote, my favorite Dark Horse stuff was the original Godzilla comics, which coincidentally Arthur worked on. Yeah, I see Arthur is like one of the best bar none Godzilla artists in the world. I think he draws really good. Ron with Tequilan wrote, love that Dark Horse Predator series. Read it many years ago. Didn't know you worked on that. Yeah, I worked with Javier Solitaires on Predator, so that was a fun book to work on. I mean, I remember watching the movie and watching reruns of the movie, and that was like fun times drawing Predator. I haven't worked on Aliens. I would love to work on Aliens. I think those are kind of cool characters. Okay, so I'm going to draw the feet over here. They kind of like reminds me of a bird's like talons. Okay, we're gonna have this part, and then we have this part. Oh, I'm glad this fabric's covering up the back of the heel, so I don't have to draw the heel. Okay, so there's that part of the foot. Okay, there's also this thing. I'm gonna squeeze that like right over here. Squeeze that right in here. I think that's the shoe part. Make sure I draw that. And it looks a little bit off here, so I'm just gonna move this over right over here, so I have more room here. Okay, I'm gonna move this a little bit higher. Move this right here. Okay, I'm just gonna adjust this because it looks kind of wonky to me. This part, I'm gonna have this triangle here. Okay, and then we're gonna have to draw all those diamond shaped stuff. Okay, and then on the bottom, let me see if there's any other questions. See, wrote Rome, already saw it. Love that Dark Horse. Emilio wrote what? So Red Zilla wrote, I got this Predator miniseries called Race War. I got all 5 issues in the convention a year ago. I'm still haven't read them. I have a lot of comic books that I bought that I haven't gotten the chance to read yet. So you're not alone in the comic book reading department. Okay, let me see if there's other parts of the knee. Okay, here's this knee. I'm gonna draw this side here. And then this point right up to here. I don't want to create any tangents. Okay, and we're gonna have this side coming down to this knee here. Let me see if there's any other questions I can answer. In your opinion, was Sylvester and Takao inking jobs difficult? He always has edges, artwork, shapes, and rips. I love their work. Yeah, for Top Cow, at the time I called it that image effect. Everything was all chiseled. I had to use a crow quill to ink everything. So which is inking everything with a crow quill like this, as opposed to using a brush or a micron. Everything was chiseled, everything was sharp. Even the holding lines, the outside the lines, they're really cornered. So when I was doing Top Cow stuff, they wanted me to ink like that. Even when I was working with one of the artists that was from Top Cow, Mark Parillo, who I worked with on one of my first books that I did for DC Comics, JLA, Justice League of America, JLA, Justice League of America. He wanted me to ink like Top Cow. So he was sending me references, and I was doing the work and inking like Top Cow. So when I was working on Tomb Raider Witchblade, some of the darkness stuff, they were having me ink in that fashion. Some of the pencilers, they will also draw that style, so it wasn't just my inks that was reflecting that. So if you type in JLA Witchblade and then type in my name, you'll see some of my work online. So you can see how that chisel looks. Some of that inking style looks different than some of the stuff that I do today. I can always go back to that chisel side, but after developing inking, these days, usually I work with a penciler and just to see what style they like, and then I would adapt to their style. So if their pencils call for a more chisel look, I'll do that Top Cow chisel look. If their pencil calls for a more brushwork, I'll adjust according that way. So when I'm inking, I don't take over the pencils and change it. I actually try to enhance the penciler's work and ink it accordingly. And I would do a lot of studying. Sometimes I'm working with pencilers, and then I would talk to them online or through email, and just to see what they like, and then they'll tell me the style that they like, and then I'll go in there and I'll draw it according to what they like. I'm gonna start drawing this feet over here. So we have this triangle thing that we drew earlier. I'm just gonna make this toe a little bit bigger. Okay, make this toe a little bit bigger. Okay, so we have the side here, and then we have this section. Point up here, and here. See, let me see if there's any other questions. I can write peace STA. Oh, you guys are leaving. Thank you for joining me, for those of you. How long are you going to be live for? I'm going to be live for, you know what? Maybe I should just do the live. I should do 3 lives. So 1 live for the penciling, 1 live for the inking, and then 1 live for the coloring. So I'm just gonna do live for the penciling here. Once this is done, I'm just gonna end it, and then we'll wait for another time to do the inking, because otherwise it'll be too long. Right now it's been like 77 minutes already. So everyone's leaving. They're getting tired. Okay, let's see. Gotta go. See you, Walden. Thanks, Lake Cake, for joining me. Peace out. I'm still gonna be here for a little bit until I finish penciling this. Have you penciled an official comic? I've done some penciling for a comic book. In fact, I'm actually doing some penciling for fun. So every so I actually even done some penciling, inking, penciling for covers. So I've done that before. Okay, here's this part, and then here's this part of the shoe, and then we're gonna have the bottom part here. So I'm very close to being done with the pencils here. Okay, and then now I'm gonna draw the cape. Let me see how this cape looks. So the cape, we have this part here, and then we have this strap here. And let me erase the name of that comic book store that I wrote. Okay, so I'm gonna draw some of the waves of this cape. And then as I'm drawing this, I wanna make sure I don't create any tangencies. I don't want any tangencies. So this right there, and then some of the folds. Okay, and then on this side, we're gonna have maybe this one come out here. I don't want to share the same line. I'm gonna have this one wrap around here. Okay, so now all the pencil work is done. My next step is to go in there and darken up some lines to give it more depth in the work. John Russell, hey John, how's it going? Awesome how you go from a sketch to a basic justice sketch to a fine piece of detailed art. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I try to go and draw everything in detail as best as I can. Now I'm going to go in there and start shading in pieces just to get the stuff a little bit more defined. So at this stage, I don't really need my reference tablet. I'm just going to move this to the side, and I'm going to go in here and start filling in the blacks of the blacks a little bit more. Okay, so as I'm filling in the blacks, I can actually just go in there and just kind of like draw X's, but I kind of want to see how everything looks before I start inking it. Okay, so I'm just going to darken up this part. No, not this part. This part, here's the head. Fill that in. Okay, filling it in. And then this one, I'm just going in there and adding in the shadows. So when I'm doing shadows, I think about what's in front and what's in back. You see how the shadow is underneath my hand? Regardless of what direction, if the light's coming from this way or light's coming different, the object that's in front, there's always going to be shadow on the bottom. If my hand was like this, the shadow's going to be on this side. There's always going to, like my hand here, there's going to be a shadow here. If I place this on top of this, there's going to be a shadow there, regardless of where the light source is. Okay, you see that shadow? So knowing that, I'm just going to go in here and kind of like darken up those areas. Darken up this area here. Okay, any areas that are kind of like looping around. So this plate here, the shadow here, I'm going to add a few of the fabric, and then I'm going to make this all dark. Okay, here I'm going to have this draw a little bit of his back. Draw a little bit of his back here. A little bit of his back. Let me see if I can see how. Yeah. So here. Okay, I'm going to have this because I don't like how this thing looks over here. So I'm just going to move this shoulder pad a little bit higher to cover up that. Okay, so now we have this part that goes up and then this part that goes up. I'm going to move this a little bit higher. I'm just going to scoot that metal plate a little higher. Okay, now I'm going to fill this part in. So I'm covering up areas that I wasn't sure what's going on over there. Okay, I'm going to add in some shadows, and I'm going to add some shadows on some of these the fabric folds over here. Yeah, so I had some other artists that would join my channel, and then they would play it again because they like hearing some of the stories I tell. So they're drawing and listening to some of my stories. So that's always fun. Okay, so the strap here, I'm just going to darken it. Yeah, there's the strap here. I'm going to darken up the bottom, and there's another strap, double line. See, my pencil's getting dull. I'll just go in here and grab one of my other pencils. I'll put this away, and I'll use a sharp pencil. This one's pretty sharp. See, I don't have to go and sharpen my pencil. I have everything all sharpened and ready to go. Some shadows over here. Let me see if there's any other questions. Let's see. Awesome how you go from sketch. John said, awesome how you go from sketch to a basic gesture to a fine piece of detailed art. Thank you, John. Romitiklin, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct. Hopefully I am. Romitiklin has been following me on YouTube for quite a while. Thank you for your support. Is there a project that you are most proud of, Walden? Tell us about what's it like to win the Inkwell Award so many times. Thank you. Yeah, so one of the projects I'm most proud of, I think I'm more proud than any of the artists that I've worked on, is Superman Red Sun. So I worked on Superman Red Sun. When I was working on it, the editor actually went through, this is a good story. I think you guys will enjoy this. The editor went through 5 different editors. Okay. By the time that editor came aboard, he wasn't really that excited. The editor that I was working with was Tom Palmer Jr. Now, Tom Palmer, his father, is actually a comic book inker. So I remember working with him and I asked him, are you related to Tom Palmer? He said yes. So that was kind of cool working with Tom Palmer Jr. And I told him, wow, I can't believe Superman, this project is so awesome to be working on. Like, instead of Superman landing in America, he landed in Russia, and then how he became a different person. And then Tom said, why are you so excited? I think you're the only person that's excited about this book. None of us are. And the penciler was Dave Johnson. He was drawing it, and then after a while, he didn't want to draw it anymore. And then Killian Plunkett took over. So when he took over, it was on the shelves for a good few years. And then when they started it again, they had me do the inking, so I was able to ink Dave Johnson as well as Killian on the project. Okay, I'm just gonna adjust this curve a little bit higher. Okay, I'm gonna have this come up. to here. There we go. And then this one looks kind of wonky. I'm just going to change this curve a little bit. So this one is going to curve here, and then it goes up, and then here. Okay, that looks better. Okay, make sure that looks symmetrical. I would have moved this a little bit higher. Gonna move this one up to here. Make sure it's the same height. I'm gonna have this one go here. Okay, fill this back here. Okay, that looks a little bit, kind of looks like Darth Vader. Like a Darth Vader effect. I'm gonna angle this up this way. Just to be a little bit more symmetrical. Let me see if there's any other questions. See, Kai wrote, who do you study the most art-wise? Your art style always give me like an 80s retro type feel. My art looks like a 80s retro type feel because I'm drawing it really quickly. I like all kinds of art. I study all kinds of art, regardless if it's like old artwork or new artwork. There's some digital artists that are being published these days, and I'm actually sometimes I'll get to ink artists that were drawing their stuff digitally, and I'm actually hand inking it. But art-wise, I actually like all kinds of stuff. Like Dave Finch is one of my favorite artists. Dave Finch draws pretty good. Brian Boland, one of the 80s styles, I like his artwork. I don't pigeonhole myself into liking only a specific artist. I actually like a lot of different artists. Like Jim Lee, he's a really good artist. Dale Keown is also a good artist. Terry Dawson is a good artist. Arthur Adams is a good artist. And I look at all those work. Travis Charest, he's also a good artist. Okay, I'm going to start drawing some of the shadows over here. And just to speed up, I'll hold the pencil this way to give the shadows like a little quicker like shading over here. So here's the fabric. I'm going to go over here. And then some of the shadows over here. Some of the shadows, I just draw it on the side. So I don't have to draw like too much. So I just one hand, one gesture. And I'll go in there and I'll fill this. Because this is going to be erased anyway. I just want to see where the shadows are. Okay. And we're going to start adding some more shadows over here. In the bottom here. And I want to separate planes just to make it a little bit more detailed. So we have this thing going on, this triangle stuff. Okay, right up here. Let me see if there's any other questions. Let's see, Kai, who do you study? Yeah, let's see, Redzilla, Sage. When are X best used? Especially, although your picture seems, let's see, when are X best used? Although it's your picture, you use them. So X is actually for areas that are supposed to be black. For example, like if I want this area to be black, I just place an X there. So a lot of times artists that would draw stuff, pencilers, instead of taking the time and going in and filling them out, they're just going to go in and place X's in certain areas, just so the inker knows that they're going to go in there and fill it out. Because they already know how the X is going to look. So right here, you see these X's, that means I'm going to have it black. So now I'm just going to fill it in so you can see how it's going to look like when I do fill it in. Some pencilers, they need to see how it's going to look like with the blacks filled in just for composition. So I'm going to fill in some of this area like this because I know that cape is behind. I know that if I make that black, it's going to make the character come out a little bit more. So if it's filled in with black, I can see like the cape a little bit more. Okay, and then on this side, I'm just going to draw a few lines. Okay, because I don't want everything to be black. And then with my pencil, I'm just going to go in here and fill it out like this. Okay, and this is the waist. This thing is, what is this I drew? Okay, what is this that I drew? Okay, here's the waist. Oh yeah, this is the sword. Okay, this is the hilt of the sword. Okay, see, I drew a tangent, see? There's a tangent here, even though I didn't know what it was. So because of that tangent, I'm just going to move this further out. Okay, move this further out so it's not a tangent. So the tangent doesn't share the same amount, and I'm just going to extend this out. Okay, so here's the sword. See, that's why tangents are dangerous. Try to avoid tangents as best as you can. Let me see if there's any other question. See, one of your best, okay. Redzilla wrote, I always struggle to find the right pose. I've tried drawing a pose on a separate piece of paper, but it rarely works. Any tip? Yeah, so when I look at the pose, I see an image in my head, and then sometimes I can't get the pose. I'll just go in there. Like for example, here I'm looking at a few images to create my pose. So the client contacted me and said, "I want a pose that's similar to this." So I looked at it and it looked okay, but it didn't have a whole body. So what I did, I went online and I just googled up dude holding a sword, and I found this image. I also found this image, and I found this image. And I kind of like the pose, is what I have in mind. So I took a screen capture of this, and then I kind of sketched that pose right here. See that pose? So similar. I'm not drawing like pose for pose. I'm just kind of looking where the cylinder object. So like when this live feed ends, you can go back in the video. You see how I'm sketching this as a rectangle shape and the cylinder shape, putting the knees over here and putting the foot there. After I did that, I went back to the client's original pose and then took some of the fingers like right over here, and I will sketch those fingers here. But then I would kind of adjust it myself to make it the way I want to make it. And then after I have the pose, I would start drawing the figure's costume around my pose. So that's how I would do that. Okay, so I need to look at the sword. So the sword, there's a sword. I need to draw the bottom of the sword. So the bottom of the sword here is the handle. I'm going to draw a little bit of the bottom of the sword right over here. Okay, not too much. So just a little cylinder and then followed by some circles. So here's the bottom of the sword. Almost forgot to draw that. Okay, right over there. Okay, I'm going to zoom in so you can see a little bit. So you can see a little bit better. Okay, next question. I always struggle to find right. Okay, I answered that already. I've tried drawing poses on a separate sheet of paper, but it rarely works. Any tips? I sometimes will draw different poses, and I would Frankenstein, for example, I would draw like on a scratch piece of paper, and then let me see if I have an example to show you guys. I have like drawings everywhere. Like here's one. Here's a cover piece or trading card piece that I did for independent publisher. I would sketch the pose really roughly. These I would just like make it up in my mind. It's like a Mothman or something. So I would sketch 4 different poses to see how I like it. And after sketching it, I would send it to the publisher, and then they would like look at it and then pick a pose. They actually picked this one, and then after picking this one, I would redraw it on a piece of paper, the same pose, and then I would like do the sketching and then tightening the sketching. I would ink it. So this one, I just use the ballpoint pen just to like sketch each of these, like maybe a minute or 2 minutes, like do it really quickly. So that's one of them. Now I'm going to go back in here and draw some of this. Let me see. Another question was from Max. Max go, Walden, are you going to color this in Photoshop or with markers or something else? Yeah. After I'm done, the client that contacted me to work on this, they wanted me to color this. So I'm going to color this by hand using those alcohol-based markers. So that's going to be another video. So this video today is going to be penciling. I'm going to do another live stream where I'm going to go and ink it. And then I'm going to do another live stream where I'm going to go and color it with either water-based markers or alcohol-based markers. I haven't decided yet. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to use watercolor markers on this one. Okay, next question I have is, let's see, let me go find Rezilla, do a lot of gesture drawings using stick figures to pose your figures. Do as many as those sketches. Yeah, sometimes when you're just learning how to sketch, you don't even have to draw everything in detail. Just go in there and just sketch. Like, for example, if I'm just sketching, I'll sketch the body as a rectangle shape. I'll make that rectangle 3D, okay, and then I'll sketch the bottom torso as a triangle, and then the arms I'll just sketch that as like circles here. I'll find out where I want the elbows. I'll find out where I want the knees to be. I'll find out where I want the foot, like this, and then I'll find out where I want the hand. So here's the hand, and then I'll place the head right there. So you see that pose, and then I'll connect everything together with cylinders like this. Okay, I'll sketch this, this, and then now you have a figure. Okay, it's just going in there and just looking at the pose. Here, I'm going to sketch another one. For example, if I want to change that pose to something that's squatting, here's that box. That box that I mentioned. Okay, here's the box. Here's the torso. Okay, this person's leaning forward. I'll have the head like this. I'll find out where the shoulders are, which is like 2 circles. Okay, I'm going to put where the elbows are. I'll put one elbow here and then one elbow right over here. I'm going to find out where the knees are. We're going to have this knee kind of like this. And then where the hand is, I'm going to place the hand right here. Hands are the boxes. So I connect that cylinder, connect these cylinder, and then the knees, I'm going to connect those cylinder right here. And then for the feet, I'm just going to place like maybe 1 feet over here, and then the other feet maybe way back here. And then I'll connect that with the cylinder. And then that's how I create that pose. Once you have that, then you start fleshing it out by drawing curves. And then after you finish drawing the curves, you can go back in there and put like the Superman's cape over there, or like Iron Man's knee pads over here, or whatever detail that you want. Okay, hope that answers the question. See, let me see. Yeah, just keep sketching this until it comes naturally to you. This comes easy. It's just drawing with basic shapes. So basic shapes, those of you who don't know, is a square, triangle, circle, and a cylinder. Yeah. So when I sketch these, I actually use all of these basic shapes. Okay, let me go and look for some of the other questions. CH wrote, they made the animation. Do you feel like artists should be compensated if the art makes it to a movie? So I worked on Superman Red Sun as well as other projects, and Superman Red Sun made it into a movie animation, but I didn't get compensated for it. So I did get an email from DC Comics saying, "Oh, your book is gonna be like made into an animation." It's one of the first DC books that's made it into a animation. So I was pretty excited about it. They didn't give me credit. I didn't get credit for it. It doesn't really bother me. It would be nice if they did credit my name, but if they didn't, it's okay. It doesn't really bother me. I've had books that was published and they spelled my name incorrectly, and it doesn't really bother me because that happens sometimes. I had my name spelled Walden. My name is Walden, and I had credits where they published my name is spelled Waldon. That happens more often than not. So like it's just something sometimes having your name spelled correctly is okay, but if it's incorrectly, that's okay too. Just move on and then work on the next project. I'm not going to be like upset over it because there's always going to be other projects that you can work on. I'm going to go in there and look at his sword. Where's the sword? Where is that guy? Let me find a reference photo of his sword. Okay, I'm going to turn this upside down. I'm going to revert back. I should have just saved the image of that and then just save it. Okay, there's the sword. Okay, some of the details of the sword. There's so much going on over here. Let me see if I can answer a question why I draw this. See, CH, they made, okay, sexy kind of, okay. Simfili Pikula, thank you for joining me. Hi, Walden. Simfili here from South Africa. Love your work, and I'm inspired to go back to drawing. Thank you for that, Simfili. Hopefully I pronounced your name right. Thank you for joining me all the way from South Africa. Emilio, study reference red. Redzilla, thanks for the advice, guys. Well, Walden, I have to take off. Thank you for advice you've given me. Thank you for joining me here. I know I'm doing this live feed a little bit late. Good night, Red. Thank you for joining me. Okay, I'm going to go in here and draw in some of the stuff. I know I'm working on the West Coast time. Right now it's like 10:30 my time, so I can imagine like East Coast is probably 1:30. And if you're from South Africa, probably even like at a different time. So maybe in South Africa, you're like in an earlier time zone. I know Romantically is from Canada, so I think he's same time zone, I think. Okay, so I'm almost done with the pencils. I'm going to zoom back a little bit. So yeah, luckily, this character doesn't have that much shadows over here. So I'm just going to add shadows in areas that I think that can help push this character a little bit more, which is underneath straps. Okay, here is one strap here. Darken up this strap. So I'm just thinking about where the light source is, and I'm just going to add the straps. I don't know if I should go in there and make this battle damage. Well, probably not make it battle. I just go in there and make some battle damage, which is just lines. Okay, I think it's going to look better with some battle damage. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the battle damage. It looks kind of nice with the battle damage. Let me see if there's any other questions. Okay, good. So yeah, I'm pretty close to being done. Let me draw some cape back here. So this cape drapes down here.
Okay, when I have, actually I'm gonna make another fold over here for the cape so it's not just like a little triangle. I'm gonna have this cape kind of go this way. Here's this cape, and then this side, darken up this cape. And then I'm gonna make all of this dark. Okay, here's this. Okay, so I created halo. Halo is a white line that separates two inked areas. Okay, and then here's this cape. And then on the bottom of this strap, we're just gonna make this darker. Okay, and each of these, make this darker. And then this plate over here, make the bottom plate here darker. Okay, some shadows around here.
Okay, let me see. Shouts to Africa. It's 7:30 a.m. I'm just a chatty new wire. So in South Africa, it's 7:30 a.m. right now. You guys just woke up. Cool. Okay, so yeah, right now I'm just gonna show you guys what I've done. So I'm happy with how the I'm happy with how the pencil looks. Okay, right here. Actually, I'm gonna erase my incorrect spelling of the name. Erase all of this stuff. Okay, erase this. Okay, erase all of that. Erase this. Okay, erase the sketch of those people that I've done. Erase all these so I can see how everything looks. Okay, without all that scratch work. Okay, so here is the drawing of the character. The name of this character again is Black Knight ZELGIUS from the Fire Emblem. Okay, and here is my drawing. Started this feed from the beginning from this sketch, and then here's the drawing. Okay, so I'm gonna go in a little bit closer. There we go. Okay, thank you all for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and share this video if you like. The more people that hits the like button, the more it will show up on feeds. This one looks kind of wonky over here. Yeah, I need to adjust this a little bit. Yeah, this one doesn't feel right to me. So we have this plate here. This plate goes up here, goes around. Yeah, something feels wonky over here. I need to fix this one. This one doesn't feel right to me. This one goes here and goes up and then goes around. Yeah, this is better. Okay, so we have this. Okay, good. Now it looks better. Okay, this looks more normal to me now. Okay, have this one come down to here. Okay, actually, I'm gonna have this one kind of go down and then come up. This one go down and then come up. There. Okay. Let me see if there's any questions. Yeah, I woke up to awesome drawing class to these videos more often. Good. Thank you, CH. Okay, so yeah, so thank you all for joining me on this live feed. Tomorrow, I'm also going to be doing another live feed where I'm going to be inking all this. Hey, George, been watching since the start. I love how it looks. Thank you, George. I appreciate that. Next, I'm going to thank you for watching. She commented earlier. I would love to talk to you. I will join the inking coming soon. Yeah, so tomorrow, I'm thinking maybe around 2 p.m. my time. So 2 p.m. my time is so everyone's in different times. So I'm actually right now I'm in the Pacific time zone. Yeah, I think I'm in Pacific time zone. So 2 p.m. my time is so right now for me it's like 10:30. So whatever time it is for you guys tomorrow, it will be around 2 p.m. 3 p.m. or so. So again here when we look at this drawing before I ink it, because we're not gonna turn off one light so we can see this better. So here's the pencils. Thank you for joining me. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. If you want to join my Patreon is patreon.com/WaldenWongArt. If you want to check out my website is waldenwongart.com. A lot of stuff you can look at. And please like, share, and subscribe. So thanks again for joining me here. Until next feed, I'll see you guys tomorrow. And thank you for chit-chatting. Have a good night or have a good morning and see you guys soon. Thanks again. Bye, everyone. Bye.